Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about time management. Time management is very important, not only for your schoolwork, but also for your careers, for your life, for your personal well-being. So it really is important to have some way to schedule things out to make sure you're not missing deadlines and to make sure that you can fit everything in a week. One thing you can do that I strongly recommend here at ACC, you can pick up a copy of the ACC Student Handbook, and that is free. You can just pick that up, and in the back of that, there's a planner. So you can go ahead and take notes. You can write down when things are due, really schedule things out. Here's a few other more tech savvy options for you too. So one thing that you all have access to, you all have access to this Google Calendar. And so this is right in your email platform. If you go to your email and then up in the top corner, you'll see those buttons there. You can pull up that Google up, go to calendar. And I've set up the weekly view here. And so this is our week right now. And so, for instance, I know that I need for this class to take the diagnostic test by Saturday at the latest, maybe even earlier. And so maybe I want to just set myself a reminder that, hey, I want to finish that by tomorrow. So 003 diagnostic test. And I want to set that, for maybe at noon. I want to have it finished by noon, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. Could even add a reminder if I want to, or whatever I want to do there. And I'm going to save that. And so this could be for whatever assignment you want, right? It could be for a diagnostic test. It could be for another math test in the future. Maybe have a paper due, but have those deadlines on there. And so maybe I know I have another assignment coming up in English. My English paper is due on Saturday. And so I'm going to go ahead and put those things on my calendar. I really prefer this option rather than a physical planner because it pops up on my phone. My phone, I've set it to where on my phone announcements will pop up and I can remember to do things. And maybe I'll set a reminder of 24 hours in advance, something like that. Maybe I know that tomorrow night I have to go to, let's say my wife's making me do something. I have to go to an event with my wife, whatever it is, right? And I'm going to save that, or whatever the event is. So that way I can make sure I have everything on my calendar. Right? I have it all laid out and all those deadlines are just going to pop right up. I think this is very valuable to make sure you don't miss assignments. It's very important to make sure you're not missing due dates. So put all of your homework assignments in there, put all of your tests, all of your papers, every single major assignment. And so where can you get that information now? Well, chances are it's probably on the syllabus. It might be on Moodle. It might be on some other homework platform. Maybe you use a MyLab system or you use Cengage's platform. Whatever your platform is in your class, all those due dates are probably posted pretty early on. So go ahead and plan those things out. Another great idea for time management, I think, is to build a more refined daily schedule too. I think especially with online classes, we tend to forget to leave time to do those classes. And so here I've pulled up Excel. And you may have access to Excel, you may not. There are other versions of Excel and free things that you can use. And I've already searched for it, but what I did is I came up here and I searched for weekly schedule. And this is a pre-built little template that we can use. And so weekly college schedule, I might just pull this thing right up. Yep, this looks good. We'll go and create that. So they've got some things on there already. Maybe I like breakfast at 8 o'clock. Maybe I don't. 7 o'clock is definitely too early for my study group, so I'm gonna get rid of those. And I can change the colors, right? They've just kind of given me suggestions as to what to include. So world history, I don't actually have world history. I'm gonna take that off too. Just give me some suggestions of things that I can use and a color pattern. But the key is I do want to create some sort of daily schedule. So I make sure that I'm fitting everything in. If you have an online class, a lot of times we forget to include that class time. So maybe I know that I have English on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 11. And so notice this is going by half-hour blocks. Maybe we want to find a block, an hourly block, whatever our schedule, however we want to fit it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule in those English classes. And then I have an online psychology, and I have an online math, let's say. So I don't have those anywhere specifically on this calendar, but I need to schedule in time to do that work. And so English would typically meet for an hour and 15 minutes, 2 days a week, or I'd meet for 3 hour, 50-minute blocks for 3 days. Psychology would be much the same. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule in my psych here. The abbreviation, right? Depending on your school's abbreviation. maybe it's Psych 150 or whatever it is, right? So I'm gonna schedule Psych in for those time slots, because then I'm going to make sure that I'm setting that time aside to really do my schoolwork, to do the readings, the lectures, whatever it is. So even though these aren't physically on campus, this is online work, I've scheduled it in. Math's going to take me a little bit more time. I know math is supposed to be for 6 contact hours, so 5 days a week. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule that in every single day. So I'm going to put my math here, and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and just even drag it across based on this template allows me to do that. And so I've scheduled my 5 hours of math. Now, notice I've done something. I've left myself a gap here. For me, I just don't like to have those classes back to back. I'd like to have a little time in between. Maybe I'm gonna grab a snack. I just know I need this time to kind of decompress, to transition. Maybe you're somebody that likes to have those back to back. So that's something you can kind of put on that schedule. I need homework time. I need time to do homework. So this is just purely in terms of class hours. A lot of times we forget an online class still has homework. Typically, you should recommend to spend 2 hours of homework for every hour of actual contact class time. So the English class, remember, met for 2.5 hours, we'll call it 3 hours. So I should expect to have 6 additional hours of homework there. Psychology, kind of the same story. The math was meeting for 10 hours, 3 credit hours. We tend to double the credit hours to 3 credit hours. It means 6 hours of homework there too. So I need to schedule a total of 18 hours of homework time. So divide that across 5 days. That would be about 3 hours a day. So from 1 till 3, I'm just going to spend all this time doing homework. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my calendar so that way I don't schedule anything over the top of it. And so now I've got all that class time built into my schedule. Now, other things I have to do, right? Maybe I'm not working this semester. Maybe I am. Now I can look at my schedule and say, all right, what hours am I going to work? Well, notice on this schedule, I mean, I could add a Saturday, Sunday if I want to, but on this schedule, I don't have a Saturday, Sunday scheduled. Maybe that's when I'm going to do my work hours. Maybe it's going to be after 7 o'clock, however I want to build my schedule. I need to build in a little me time. So this is something that I always did when I was in school. I always liked to design my schedules. I would wake up at 8 o'clock. I would wake up at 6 o'clock. I'd go to class at 8 o'clock, and I'd have all my classes from 8 to noon. Usually that was the way I structured it. My afternoons, I always spent doing homework. And then about 4 or 5 o'clock, whenever I finished my homework, finished that scheduled time, I would like to do some activity, kind of clear my mind, to just refresh and renew myself. And so for me, time I went to UNC, I would go down to the ultimate frisbee field, or I'd get a place to pick up soccer, or whatever it would be. Now I still do that. Even though I'm working, I have all my classes, I do my office hours in the afternoon, I do my grading in the afternoon, planning, and then in the evenings, afternoons, evenings, turned into an old man, so I like to go play pickleball. It's a lot of fun. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's like tennis, but kind of how I design my schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my schedule that I'm going to play pickleball at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to play that probably just 2 times a week, because I also have a family. And so all this time that I'm not playing pickleball and not in class, this is all my personal family time. And that is important to schedule that in there. That is important to think about, because you've got to make time for the things that are really important to you besides just your schoolwork and your job. You can't just be so concentrated in those elements that you give up everything else, because then your mental health is going to decline. You're not going to be able to concentrate on schoolwork. Studies have shown that when you're getting physical activity, that actually boosts your academic performance. So I do think it's valuable, whatever your physical activity is. My wife's a runner. Like I said, I like to play pickleball. Whatever it is, schedule that in there. If your kind of method of clearing your mind is to go dancing or to sew or whatever it is, whatever your hobby is, schedule that time into your calendar. And so by creating a calendar like this, I know that I'm going to have enough time to complete my schoolwork. I know I'm going to have enough time to complete my homework. I'm going to have time to complete my activities. In this schedule, like I said, I was kind of saving those weekends so I could work on the weekend. Maybe I'm going to put in 10-hour shifts, whatever your situation calls for. Maybe you need a little bit more time to work. Maybe you don't have a full-time class schedule, and so adjust that accordingly. But I think these 2 tools can really help in creating a time management system. You need to, 1, make sure we're not missing deadlines. You can do that through some sort of planner or schedule. I really like technology, so I put it on online so my phone will tell me when I need to complete things. And second, it's very, very important to have some sort of daily breakdown of what you're going to be doing. That way you can make sure you're not missing anything, and you're not overwhelming yourself too.